Perfect. Today, Wednesday, 1st of March, after town hall, after a nice town hall. Thank you everyone for coming. This is basically a place where we try to support and discuss and prepare for the tax and reporting season, as Matthias said it, that is coming. It's me, Yoram, here together with a great team from the Treasury Guild, Miro and Andre. And basically, the idea is what we started to create a document, which I'm going to share with you. And it all started with the information we share with the accountant. And we have ongoing meeting with the accountant through the period to try and see, first of all, how we explain what is Project Catalyst, right? How we explain revenue sources. How we explain what is revenue sources. And then how we explain, the flow of money, for example, when we get money, what's the value of the, how we dollarize it or, fiat it basically for the accounting. When should we record the income? So we started to create this document, and then we decided actually to also make it a document which is open for the community, right? Because a lot of people coming from different locations. So Harry came from the UK, speaking with his accountant. Cole said that he shared the document with his accountant. So kind of to have a place where we can start adding information and share between us in different countries. And I think it can be easy to facilitate, each one of us the reporting a little bit to make it easier and to deal with the accountant. Also at the end, added today kind of a section of media. I saw just today an article about, reporting and regulation of crypto in France, for example, which I'm based in, and we can use it also for shared media, as well as put together there the different projects working on this issue. So we have the link to Allison Form project regarding Switzerland, and Little Fish is also working mainly on the legal part. So hope it's helpful resources. I will tell one thing that was for me very interesting, and I'm going to reconfirm it with the accountant on Friday, is that actually for the way that we report here the income, I don't actually need an invoice for the Catalyst income. So the way we record it, so we can imagine a project wallet. From the project wallet, we are sending money to my company wallet. And when we get the money, we record basically the income, and we associate each income like that with the project itself. So preparing a page for each project, and we say, this is the link for the project in Project Catalyst. This is why we are getting the money. This is when we get the money. This is when we converting it to dollars. And that's kind of what we are preparing. So it's a lot of preparation. And then we separate that from to financial earning if the ADA goes up or goes down when we convert them to fiat and take them out. So that's kind of just a quick background, and I want to open that for question if it's helpful, or anyone that wants to contribute, we'll share with them to be a contributor. And yeah, if it makes sense, if there's questions around that, how does it sound? There is also, we added there some forms already by the Treasury Guild. So there is some forms that how that we record Excel forms. And as well, we added some resources for digital accounting systems for crypto. Right, that by the way, Miro and Andre are kind of testing them as well, and also will give feedback. But also last week, Lucio gave some feedback and added some more. Yeah. How does it sound? Any questions? Any specific needs? Because again, I'm meeting the accountant on Friday, so if there's specific questions someone have. if we can explain in a better way what is catalyst or stuff like that. I mean, and yeah, anything that you need or can contribute also from you, I think if each one of us is reporting this year and you can add the resources, we will really have something helpful to share with our accountant. And yeah.
I would have a need. So I looked, so for logs, right, we incorporated in 2021. So end of 2021, so last year's tax reporting was much simpler, right? I could get away with Google Sheets because it was just for 2 months, right? It was a little bit of catalyst money, but it was all very easy to calculate the income. This year, the situation is a little bit different. And but even last year, I looked at some of the resources that are shared in the Docs for Accountant document. So thank you for that. Unfortunately, I'm also the CFO and the accountant, so I have to do everything myself. And so
that's common in startups and also the
right. I mean, it's hilarious, right? Because per law, like, oh yeah, the CFO is someone with, you know, accounting degree, background, financial degree, and whatever. It's like, well, you want a CFO? Sorry, you have to deal with me. But so I looked at a bunch of, you know, coin ledger, coin tracking, I think Pilot as well, which were incredible pricey and didn't even support all of our needs. So I just need something right now. I haven't looked at Cryptio yet or accounting. I don't think either, but essentially most of it, it's dataless for me, dataless use. Is there already something that would support the CSV exports for dataless to grab ideally the price where the transaction was happening, but usually you get kind of like an average or like a daily snapshot or something like that would work obviously as well. Is there something already that's ideally open source? Because if not, I am have to put something together within the next 10 days or so, because our deadline for California is on the 11th, I believe.
Andre and Miro, do you have any system like that you're using?
No, in 10 days, no.
No, but you ask if there is okay. No, but by the way, Andre and Miro is working on incredible product by themselves to help the community, but it will not be ready yet, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, we're probably also kind of waiting for Fund 10 if it ever happens this year.
But I think that Matthias actually mentioned the coin ledger, I think, something like that. The platform.
Right. I think they had, because for our main logs wallet, for example, right, we use all kinds of different addresses, right? So unlike my private account where I essentially just share one receiving address, it's very simple there. With our company wallet, it's a little bit more involved, because I looked at the products and they had the notions of, okay, import your wallet, and it was just not working, right? They work maybe with exchanges and whatnot, but most of the stuff, I'm not accepting Project Catalyst money on our, Kraken exchange, on our institutional account, right? Because as we know, it's pretty big risk, right? You don't want to leave any crypto longer on the exchange than you have to. So I've just noticed that a lot of these portfolio trackers or whatnot, they fall through as soon as you use something like dataless. And even then you would, because you can't there was no your public key hash, for example, right? That wouldn't be supported. And it's like, okay, you just share all the addresses that you used with us. And it's like, okay, well, this is clunky because there's a lot of those. Bottom line is, I haven't found anything that actually works for my use case.
Yeah, so we have to think that, I mean, things are evolving very fast and also us. So I think one, we need to kind of potentially prepare kind of best practice, right? What's the best practice to get money in? And I mean, for me now, I'm mapping everything on Excel and so on, and it's really a nightmare, but I'm doing it and kind of to do that. But and then we need to see which platform support which need, right, for different companies. Company might need a different need than independent, or depends on the number of projects. But so if you have any feedback, I mean, we put the feedback that we have so far there. If you have more feedback to add, or anything that you tested, or what will be your need, and kind of that maybe someone else. Maybe we put a place at the end for Q&As, and people can just add their Q&As and see if other people will have an answer for them. That makes sense? So that I will open for you that, and you can do that. And Miro shared one example. So Nori, for your please, Miro. No.
Yes, Matthias, if you will have time, if you didn't check the coin ledger, I mean, you can add manually for now, because they don't have automatic on their platform for Cardano still, but they have on their roadmap, I think till the end of the year, they will have just with one click. You just put the necessary address, only one address, and everything you will see inside of the platform. I think it could help you.
Thank you. Yeah, I keep on looking on it, and maybe there's some way. I think it would be a great fun 10 project.
Yeah.
And
I think Andre and Daima, you are working on something, right? You're surprised. So they're working.
But that is specifically built for the transactions that we execute. So we capture the exchange rates when we do the transactions.
Yeah.
But yes,
which right, you put it in as meta info, right? I mean, personally, it drives me nuts. I have no idea, and it has been voiced to the Project Catalyst team multiple times, because sometimes I just get money in my wallet, and it's like, okay,
where did I get that from?
Where, why, when?
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, this is normally the smaller amount, right? So I put that in various, and I will have to see how I'm going to deal that with the accountant, because there's some that I don't know, 50 ADA, 100 ADA, so I'm just putting it at various and going to speak with the accountant on that. And obviously going into next year, I mean, we are going to be much more careful. I mean, also we need to see what we do with all the rewards on the staking, right? And so that's kind of an interest. So all of that is things that we are going to clear. Nori, good questions about the wallet. So at least the way I'm trying to deal with that with the accountant, I'm saying that the wallet is a project wallet, right? And it's not. So if it's a wallet for 3 partners, 4 partners, so it's a project wallet, and it's not revenue that I got. For today, the way we treat it, it doesn't own by anyone, and only the money that I get to my company, and when I get it, this is when I record it. Again, all of that is to confirm with the accountant, but I mean, otherwise it's too complicated, because there's no company holding this wallet, right? The joint wallet.
Yeah, or like a group like C4C or whatever. There's no formal organization. It's just a loose collection of people that have this wallet. It's, I don't know that it's a taxable, there's no taxable entity at that point. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what I do at least.
I'd be careful with that.
But because who would it be?
So for example, in Germany, it would be a GbR, because in the US, I don't know in Canada, but in the US, you could probably make the claim that if you have multiple people that have access to the wallet, you're automatically in partnership. So the partnership is going to be taxed. And again, so I understand what you mean, but the moment the money is coming in, that is the taxable event. And usually, so I didn't want to deal with any of that. That's why we did a C corporation, right? So the C corporation is taxed with that. Like, I didn't want to be personally liable for any capital gains or capital losses, and deal with that crap on an individual level, because that's really, really bad, right? What if what we've seen, it's often happening, right? That the price of ADA is all for some reason, the moment funds get distributed, and I know it's like there's no secret agenda and something like that, because catalyst money and the overall volume is still pretty low. But it's always interesting to see, okay, the price of ADA is very, very high the moment I get it, but then when I actually have to cash out, because gotta pay bills and whatnot, then the price dumps, and it's really bad. But you still get taxed on the initial income, right? So and that's why I'm concerned with I get everyone loves DAOs, and Wyoming obviously has their law, but ad hoc groups are still groups that need to be taxed. So you got to figure out who is actually controlling the wallet. Is it just one person? Then sorry, that person is most likely going to be taxed. And again, I'm not a financial expert on that, right? Miro and Andre can answer it better. But I feel that, hey, the argument that there's really not like a taxable entity, like we accept this money as a group, I don't think that's going to fly anywhere anymore. So I'd be careful with that, and obviously speak with a professional.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and we don't know yet how to deal with that. But at least for me, the way I'm now dealing with my accountant and discuss with him, that I put the project link to the project and all the payments I get for a certain project to my account. So they know all the project, they know participate, they know when I get money, they can trace that. And for now, I meet again on Friday. It's now the reporting, so I will meet every couple of weeks, 1 month to figure it out. But for now, this is the way they suggested to do that. But yeah, I understand your point that we need to see how the law will deal with that in terms of the joint wallet. It might not permit in the future. I mean, one thing that I do actually with many cases, like if you take the Pond Foundation or Erev Max, so it's companies that are not yet working on the blockchain or are not comfortable. So for example, I get the money for them, and then I move that into Binance, then I move that into the bank account and get a normal invoice with them. So this is also something I report under the project, this use case. And it might be a future solution that one company would have to be representative the wallet of the group. I don't know. That might be a solution for the future.
Right. So in our case, for example, right, again, Project Catalyst money comes in through to our corporate wallet, right, which I am controlling because I'm the CFO. And when I have to cash out, what I do is I just transfer the money to our Kraken account, right, which is an institutional account. So you had to do like KYC, who are the directors, who are the officers, right, the whole onboarding process. I think it only took like 2 or 3 weeks. And for us in the US, right, that transaction is not a taxable event anymore. That used to be the case in the past. Like every moving from private to wallet to whatever, like any transaction is a taxable event, which was horrible, right? I ceased all trading during that time. But now it's just moving ADA from one wallet to another wallet. You kind of lose the fee, right? So that's just lost. I don't think you can account for that, right? The transaction fee. But obviously when you sell it, that's again a taxable event, right? Do you have capital gains? Do you have capital losses? Transfer that to US dollars, withdraw it. It's now in my traditional bank account with Mercury Bank, which by the way is a great bank if you're in the US. And that, then it's simple again. Now it's different. For example, Victor Corsino, right? One of our officers, he writes us an invoice, right? And for project work, so not for like his regular salary, but if he's like working on something that's beyond the scope of his normal role, right? He writes an invoice in US dollars, but then he still accepts payment in ADA, right? So this is actually similar to what the Cardano Foundation does, because as Cardano ambassadors working for, quote unquote, the Cardano Foundation, right? You have your proof of work sheet, which is a funny name, but you say, okay, I moderated like Stack Exchange, I had maybe this meetup, right? I created this content, blah, 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 right? And someone for Cardano Foundation says, yeah, I checked this work, that is true, and they send you essentially an invoice that you fill out with your ADA address where you want to have it. In my case, they have the US dollar amount, right? And then I just fill it out. So I have that for tax purposes, actually, which is a very nice service. And then at some time, they sent me the ADA, which at the moment of, them sending over would be the equal dollar amount to that invoice. So that's how they do it. And that's actually also the model that we adopted for people who are wanting to be paid in ADA for contract work. So that, again, also is well defined. There's a paper trail already, so that is helpful as well. And I'm only making the distinction here because, again, this is also, in that case, a taxable event, even though Victor is, majority. Is that still a majority shareholders? Well, Victor has like 40% shares in the company, right? So even though he works for the company, he is deeply associated with the company, it is not a simple wallet-to-wallet transaction. It is, a capital gains, capital loss kind of event. So a lot of complications.
Yeah, the capital gain and loss are there, right? I mean, that's definitely, but that's in addition to the invoice, right? I mean, at least, unless there is a lot of, I mean, if you do it fast, close to the time that you get it, so there's gain and loss, but it's still a small amount comparing to the challenge of volatility if you take it over time, right? But I mean, it's not simple, and there is risk in that, right? There is risk that if you wait and the market change, then you do it. Like when I did it as a service to other companies that are not on the blockchain, I took the risk on myself, right, on that. But it's part of the. But still, I report it the same way. I report when I moved it from the wallet for the group wallet to my wallet, and then that's the reporting of the income, and then I do separate invoices with them on fiat. And kind of somehow, but I connect it all in an Excel related to this project. So at least the accountant know that it's all connected and why I paid someone and so on. And with them, by the way, obviously with them, I also have a kind of written agreement just to confirm the invoice. Or there is a kind of official invoice and kind of a simple agreement. There is in the doc there is a slide, also a slide that shows the different movement of money that can move, right? From a group wallet to a single wallet, then to how to take it out, and all the different options. So it's not really well designed yet, but actually we did it also on Miro, right? Miro, we did a Miro board also with that. We need to edit there. You remember all the movement of money. How it can move.
Yeah.
But it's still learning. Again, for me, I mean, last year was an easy year. It was small amounts. It was, the first year. This year, it's more projects, different complex combinations. So a lot of learning there. And By the way, the accountant, when we met, they also brought an expert accountant, and they said they were worried as long as it's not something related to tokenization or to farming or like managing a farm and so on. So that kind of excludes the risky part, and then when you speak about the payment, it's easier. Just a flow of money, and now we record that. Make sense? Good. Any other questions or ideas or needs or around that? It's funny because I mean there is a lot of small transactions as well, right? Test transactions, and then other transaction and conversion. I mean, yeah, it's quite a hassle to go through that. So I mean, Miro and Andre, I mean, if you can find or analyze some of the platforms, I think that would be marvelous to give kind of, when you analyze them, to give kind of a short summary of your experience on them. I think that would be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Good. If there's no more questions or ideas, I can stop recording and we have a chat, or it's okay to everyone?
Sounds good.
Hey.
Let me close the recording. Reaction. I don't see it.